My daughter's 17. She wasn't allowed to go to my sister's wedding. Apparently, she was too young. I didn't argue about it. Just told them plain and simple, we won't be there. But when Christmas rolled around, I made one quiet decision, and that small act caused a full-blown meltdown across the family. I'm Carol, by the way. I'm the oldest of 3 sisters, which basically meant growing up I was the one everyone leaned on, the built-in babysitter, the fixer, the one who stepped in when our parents were too burnt out to deal. Honestly, it didn't bother me much back then. That was just the role I naturally fell into. Kimberly, she's the middle one, the spotlight chaser. She loved the stage, the noise, the attention. Then there's Margaret, the youngest. She was the baby of the family and knew exactly how to work that. Somehow, she always got a free pass. Meanwhile, I was the one staying behind to clean up the messes they left behind. Later, when I became a mom myself, some things shifted, but not enough to really change the dynamic. I adopted my daughter, Donna, when she was 3. She had these big, thoughtful eyes and this cautious way of watching the world, like she didn't quite believe it was safe yet. I remember the first time she called me Mom. I dropped her off at preschool, got back in the car, and cried like a fool in the parking lot. From day one, I made her a promise. She'd never feel like an outsider in my home or in my family. Not again. I meant it with everything I had. But no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't keep that promise. Kimberly got engaged last spring. There was a dramatic announcement, a rock of a ring, and a caption on Instagram that could have been a movie trailer. I congratulated her, of course. Donna was so excited she made a little card for her, cut out wedding bells, covered the thing in way too much glitter. Kimberly said it was sweet, then tossed it in the back seat of her car. I found it 2 weeks later, crumpled under a half-empty Starbucks cup. Still, Donna stayed excited. She started browsing for dresses online, asking me whether she should do her hair in curls or leave it down. I could see she was nervous, but also hopeful. She really wanted to be part of it. Then the invitation came, one of those expensive ones, thick cardstock, gold trim, probably cost more than my grocery bill for the week. I opened it at the kitchen counter while Donna sat at the table doing her homework. All the usual info: date, venue, dress code, RSVP details. And then I saw it right there in bold: adults only. 18 and up. Strictly enforced. No exceptions. I stared at it twice, thinking maybe I'd missed a detail. But nope. It was clear. Donna noticed my face before I even said anything. She looked up and asked softly, "She doesn't want me there, does she?" I told her, "It's an 18-plus wedding." She was quiet for a beat, then asked, "Is it because I'm adopted?" That question knocked the wind out of me. The way she said it, calm, like it was just something she'd already accepted, it broke my heart. I told her, "No, honey, it's not that." But I knew what she meant. And it wasn't the first time something like this had happened. Not exactly this, but those other moments, the little digs, the subtle ways they made her feel separate. Like the time my mom introduced her as Carol's girl instead of calling her her granddaughter. Or when Kimberly said, "your daughter," in that offhand way, like Donna wasn't part of the family. At holidays, Donna would offer to help out in the kitchen, and no one would even acknowledge her. I used to tell myself they didn't mean anything by it. That it was just carelessness, not cruelty. But this was different. This time, it was plain as day. I didn't make a scene. I didn't argue. I just opened the RSVP link and clicked not attending. No note. No explanation. Just no. I thought that would be the end of it. The next day, Kimberly texted me, "Hey, so you're RSVP. Everything okay?" Then she followed up with, "If this is about the age thing, I hope you know we're applying it to everyone." Nothing personal, right? Nothing personal, except Donna is her niece. And she's 17, not a toddler. I didn't reply. Then Margaret reached out. "You're not coming? What's going on?" After that, my mom called, which she never does unless something's wrong. I answered, already bracing for the speech. "Carol," she said, "I heard you're not going to the wedding. Is this really about the age thing?" I told her Donna wasn't invited. "I'm not showing up without her. She'll be 18 in a few months." She said, "She's not a child. She's family." I waited, then said, "We're not coming." And I hung up. That should have been the end of it. But then the group chat lit up. Guilt trips. Snide remarks. "Margaret, can't believe you're making such a big deal over one rule. Always some drama with you." They said it wasn't about Donna, that I was making it about her. My mom sent a whole monologue about family unity and forgiveness and how we've all had to make sacrifices. I didn't respond. Donna quietly deleted all the dress screenshots off her phone. She stopped talking about the wedding. She didn't cry, but honestly, that made it worse. The way she wasn't even surprised anymore? That gutted me. She'd already figured out what it took me way too long to admit. So when Christmas came and not a single person had said sorry or even brought it up, I made a choice. I didn't invite them. No speech. No dramatic fallout. Just nothing. Silence. That's what really made them mad. If you'd asked me a decade ago what motherhood would look like, I would have painted a picture of birthday candles, sticky kisses, glitter on every surface. I wouldn't have said this, shielding my daughter from people who say they love us both. When Donna came into my life, she was 3, and she carried a seriousness in her eyes that no toddler should have to know. She had soft curls and a gaze that made you feel like she was studying your words just in case she needed to protect herself from them. She didn't warm up easily. She didn't laugh just to be cute. She didn't throw herself into my arms like you see in movies. But one day in the grocery store, without me asking, she reached out and took my hand. And when we got to the car, I sat in the driver's seat and cried for 10 solid minutes. My husband, Kevin, looked at me and said, "That was the moment she chose you." And since then, I've chosen her every single day. My family never really knew how to handle Donna. In the beginning, I told myself it was just them adjusting, maybe some awkwardness they hadn't figured out how to shake off yet. After all, she didn't look like me. She didn't have my last name back then. And she wasn't one of those kids who jumped right into the chaos of family gatherings. She hung back, stayed quiet. But as time went on, I realized it was more than just an adjustment. There were signs. Like how my mom referred to her as the little one instead of using her name. Or the time Kimberly asked loudly, and right in front of Donna, "Are you going to tell her she's adopted when she's older?" Donna was 7 at the time. She understood every word. Then there was the Easter when Margaret's kids each got personalized baskets from my parents, names embroidered on the front. Donna's? It was a generic one that just said Happy Spring. It wasn't blatant, never outright cruelty. It was softer than that, the kind of thing you could explain away if you really wanted to. But Donna picked up on every bit of it. She always did. I tried to be the buffer. I explained, redirected, gave them the benefit of the doubt over and over. When she was 6, Donna told my dad she wanted to be an artist. He smiled, half-hearted, and said, "You might want to pick something more practical." When she was 8, she drew a picture of our family, me, Kevin, and her, and gave it to my mom. My mom smiled politely, said thank you, and then quietly set it down like it was a napkin. Never brought it up again. Later, Donna asked why her drawing didn't make it onto the fridge with the others. I had no answer for her. The first time I really lost my cool over it all was at Margaret's engagement party. Donna was 12. We were invited. Kind of. Margaret included us in a big group text, just the time, date, and venue. No warm note, no can't wait to see you. It felt like an afterthought. But we still went. Because I told myself, this is how things change. You keep showing up. Donna wore a soft blue dress she picked out herself and sparkly little flats. She was nervous, kept checking with me. "Do I look okay? Can I stay close to you during the party?" When we arrived, Margaret gave me a quick, tight-lipped hi, then immediately turned to the next guest. She didn't say a word to Donna. No compliment, no look at you, you're growing up. Just nothing. Like Donna wasn't even there. We stayed 20 minutes, maybe a little more. Donna didn't let go of my hand the entire time. On the ride home, she quietly said, "I don't think she likes me." I told her, "She just doesn't know you." Donna looked out the window and replied, "She's had 10 years. I didn't have a comeback for that. Honestly, I don't think they ever fully accepted that Donna was here to stay. Some part of them, deep down, seemed to believe she was just a temporary chapter in my life. That one day I'd go on to have my own kid, and Donna would become this sentimental footnote. Remember when Carol fostered that little girl? They never said it out loud. They didn't have to. For her 16th birthday, Donna wanted something simple. We rented out a room at the community center and hung her artwork on the walls, her idea. No DJ, no party lights. Just her paintings, some homemade cupcakes, and a handful of people who believed in her. She even designed the invitations herself, sent them to friends, teachers, and of course, our family. Kimberly didn't show. Neither did Margaret. My parents came late, a full half hour after it started. They handed her a card that said, "To a sweet girl," with a $20 bill inside. Donna smiled, said thank you, she's always polite like that. But afterward, she didn't talk about it. She just helped us pack everything up, carried her canvases back to the car. Later that night, when we were home and the dishes were finally done, I found one of her drawings left on the table. It was a sketch of the party, me, Kevin, and Donna standing together. But none of us had faces. That's when something shifted in me. Not because of the card or the lateness or the thoughtless gestures, but because Donna didn't seem hurt anymore, not in the way she used to be. She'd stopped expecting better. And that scared me more than any insult ever could. So when the wedding invitation never came, not even a conversation, not a call, I didn't need confirmation. I already knew. And I didn't fight. I didn't beg. I just turned to Donna and said, "We're not going." She didn't cry. Just nodded and said, "Okay." Later that night, she asked me, "Do you think they even noticed we weren't there?" I looked at her and said, "Yes." Because even if they didn't, I needed her to believe that she mattered. We spent the wedding weekend at home. Kevin made his famous French toast. Donna painted in the sunroom with sunlight on her shoulders, and I actually finished a book for the first time in forever. It wasn't about revenge. It wasn't some silent protest. It was just peace. And peace feels strange when you've spent years drowning in quiet hurt. The silence was almost too loud at first, but it was honest. I didn't miss the wedding. Not the flowers, not the vows, not the cake. What I kept thinking about was Donna. How she used to look to them, to my family, for approval. Every birthday, every Christmas, every dinner, she hoped they'd finally see her. And how little by little, they taught her not to hope anymore. And I thought about Christmas. Every year I hosted. Out of habit, out of obligation. I'd cook, clean, set the table. I'd invite them in and pretend their lukewarm affection was enough. But not this year. This year, I'd do it differently. One evening in early December, Kevin asked, "Should I order the usual folding chairs?" I shook my head. No extra seats this year. He didn't question it. Donna didn't say a word. Then the group chat started stirring. "Who's bringing dessert to Carol's this year? Should we come the night before like always?" I didn't reply. I just let the messages pile up. I never made an announcement. Never said, "I'm not hosting Christmas this year." No grand statement. No angry post online. I just chose not to speak. And somehow, that silence turned out to be the loudest thing I'd ever done. By December 15th, they were panicking. "Margaret, Carol, are we still doing Christmas Eve dinner at your place? Let me know what to bring." "Kimberly, we'll be 5 again. Let me know if Donna wants anything specific, if she's even coming this year, that is." That one almost broke me. If she's even going to be there this time. Like Donna was the issue. Like her not being at their wedding was a personal shortcoming, her fault, not theirs. Not the result of being left out. Not the reality of a closed door. I didn't take the bait. For once, I didn't spin myself into a frenzy scrubbing baseboards and fluffing pillows. I didn't bother with a roast order or unfold a single extra chair. I didn't drag the table leaf up from the garage or rearrange the living room for company. And when no one got a response, the phones started lighting up. My mom tried first. I watched her name flash on the screen, then disappear. Margaret came next. Then Kimberly. Finally, my dad left a message, sounding tired and rehearsed. Carol, we're all just trying to understand what's happening. Your mom's upset. Don't let pride get in the way of doing what's right. What's right? As if opening my home to people who left my daughter out in the cold was some kind of moral victory. As if pretending things were fine could somehow undo the years of silent exclusion. So we didn't host. Not that year. Instead, Kevin and I stayed in our sweats and made lasagna from scratch. Donna spent the afternoon turning a bowl of sugar cookie dough into misshapen hearts and stars and snowmen that still somehow tasted perfect. We watched old Christmas movies, opened our gifts early, and laughed in a way we hadn't in a long time, freely, without measuring every word. No tension. No awkward silences when Donna walked into the room. No decoding family comments wrapped in politeness, but laced with something else. It was just the three of us. And it felt like breathing clean air. Then the group chat changed its tone. December 26th. Kimberly. It's just sad. We've all made an effort with Donna, but Carol makes it impossible to build a relationship. Margaret. If every disagreement means cutting people off, you'll end up completely alone. My dad. I'm sorry, but the way you're handling this is heartless. And then my mom sent a photo, just their tree, lit up, captioned. It wasn't the same without you. Donna would have loved her presents. But those weren't presents. They were peace offerings wrapped in guilt, intended to lure us back into a script I was done performing. I didn't write back. A few days later, a card came in the mail, no return address, but the cursive was unmistakably my mother's. Inside, she'd written, I hope you'll think about the example you're setting. Donna's learning how quickly you can shut people out. That line sat with me. Because yes, she's watching. She sees everything. And what I want her to learn is this. That love doesn't require you to shrink. That belonging shouldn't feel like tiptoeing. That you never have to make yourself smaller just to fit in a family photo. Donna didn't bring up the texts or the phone calls, but I know she felt the shift. She always does. She notices the quiet just as sharply as the noise. One night, she was curled up under a blanket, sketchbook balanced on her knees. Without looking up, she asked, Do you think they'd like me more if I wasn't adopted? My throat tightened. I sat down beside her. No, I said gently. They might have pretended better. But this was never about you. It's about them. And who they are. She finally looked up at me, eyes steady and calm, and said, I don't think I want them to like me anymore. That right there was the moment everything solidified for me. Not out of anger. Not out of resentment. But clarity. I stopped waiting. Stopped hoping for them to come around. A few days later, my dad tried again. Called. No answer. Then a text. Your mom hasn't been sleeping. She feels like she lost her daughter. We know we've made mistakes. But shutting everyone out, that's not you. That line caught me. That's not you. They used to say that a lot when I stood up for myself. Back when I still second-guessed every boundary I set. But now? Now I know better. This is me. I'm a mother who knows that choosing her daughter's well-being over tradition is not cruelty, it's strength. I'm someone who refuses to hand my child over to people who only show up when it's convenient for them. I'm done calling that family. And then came the last blow. Kimberly sent a voice memo. I played 5 seconds. That was enough. Her tone was polished, careful, almost too careful. The words were sharp underneath. It just seems like you're using Donna as an excuse. Like any time someone doesn't treat her like a princess, You cut them out. That's not healthy. That's not parenting. That's obsession. I deleted the message, blocked her number. Because if protecting Donna fiercely and without apology looks like obsession to them, then yeah, I guess I'm obsessed. And I will never feel sorry for that. New Year's Eve was quiet. Donna fell asleep before midnight with a half-eaten cookie still in her hand. Kevin and I sat on the couch, sipping tea instead of champagne, watching silent fireworks blink across the sky. After a while, he turned to me and asked, "Do you miss them?" I thought about it. "The idea of them," I said. "Sure, I miss that. But the real version? That was never ours." He just nodded, reached for my hand. I don't know what's next. I'm sure the attempts will keep coming. Another text, maybe a Facebook post meant to stir something. Maybe they'll show up at Donna's graduation next year like nothing happened. But I'm not engaging anymore. There's no final confrontation. No dramatic speech. Just distance. Quiet, intentional distance. And in my experience, silence is sometimes louder than any scream. It happened on a cold, gray Thursday. I had just walked in from work, still wearing my coat, when the doorbell rang. Kevin was still at the office. Donna was upstairs, working on her college portfolio. I wasn't expecting anyone. But when I opened the door, there they were. My parents. Standing on the front step like no time had passed. Like it was still long before the damage, before the distance, before the silence started speaking for me. My mom showed up with a Tupperware container clutched in both hands, oatmeal cookies, I think. The kind she used to make when I was a kid, soft in the middle, always a little too crisp on the edges. "Carol," she said, giving me that half-smile she saves for apologies she doesn't want to say out loud. "We thought we'd stop by." I didn't answer right away. I just stared at the cookies like they might explode. My dad shifted next to her, already fidgeting. "Can we come in? Just for a minute." I shook my head. No. A silence stretched between us. Not long, but long enough for the mood to curdle. My mom tried to recover, reaching for her warmest voice. "We just want to talk. Things got a little tense, sure, but we're still your family." She held the container out like it was a white flag. I didn't take it, and that's when her smile cracked. "You don't have to be this way," she said, voice tightening around the edges. My dad chimed in. "We understand raising a teenager is hard. And we gave you space. But this? You're cutting us off for a girl who's about to leave anyway." That one hit different. "She's 17, my mom said, more gently, like it might soften the blow. "She'll be off to college before you know it. Then what? You'll be alone. And you'll regret this." But I heard what they weren't saying. This wasn't an olive branch. This was a leash. And then she said the quiet thing out loud. "I'm sorry, Carol, but she's not really family. She's not blood." She said it gently, as if she expected me to nod, maybe cry a little, say, "You're right." I lost perspective. Instead, I inhaled slowly, stepped back, and said, "You need to leave. Right now." My dad blinked like I'd slapped him. "Carol." "No," I said, louder now. "You don't get to walk up my steps with cookies and guilt and call that love. You don't get to insult my daughter and expect a welcome mat." "You're going to regret this," my mom said again. This time her voice cracked. "She'll leave you. She'll forget you. And you'll come crawling back. You'll see we were right." I didn't say anything. I didn't need to. I shut the door, turned the lock, and leaned against it until the sound of their footsteps disappeared. I told Donna the next day. I wasn't planning to. I didn't want her carrying their poison around. But I've never lied to her about the important stuff. She sat on the edge of the couch while I told her what they said. About her leaving. About not being one of us. About me supposedly crawling back when she was gone. She didn't cry. She never cries when it hurts. But her fists clenched tight in her lap. Her shoulders locked up like she was bracing for something. "They think I'll leave you," she said. "No," I told her. "They hope you will. So I'll need them again." She nodded slowly. "They don't get to hope things about me. I thought that might be the end of it. I should have known better. A week later, my cousin Tiffany forwarded me an email. It was from Margaret, sent to the extended family. It was long, rambling, passive-aggressive in that special way only Margaret can manage. But the message was clear. She said I had abandoned the family, that Donna was manipulative, that she had driven a wedge between me and everyone else, that I was obsessed with shielding her from imaginary harm. She painted a picture of me as unstable, Donna as ungrateful. And worse, it worked. People started reaching out. Aunt Lori texted me, "Are you okay?" Uncle Roy called Kevin, asking if I was in some kind of crisis. My second cousin Beverly commented on one of Donna's art posts. "You're lucky. Remember who gave you a home." Donna saw it. I watched her see it. And that was it. I didn't send a rebuttal. I sent a record. Screenshots. Voicemails. Messages. Photos. Every time they ignored her. Every time they left her out. Every slip of the tongue that wasn't really a slip. I wrote a letter. Not angry. Not tearful. Just facts. I sent it to the extended family with a subject line that said, "For those who want the full story." I didn't ask for sympathy. I didn't demand anyone choose sides. I just laid the truth down where they could see it. Some replied. Some didn't. A few quietly unfriended Margaret. Others probably rolled their eyes. It didn't matter. I didn't do it for them. I did it for Donna. So she'd never again wonder if she was imagining it. So she'd never have to ask me, would they love me if I were blood? After that, I blocked every number that tried to argue. Every person who said, "You just need to sit down and talk it out." Every voice that valued a comfortable silence over protecting a child from slow, deliberate cruelty. We never heard from most of them again. At least not directly. I'm sure we still come up at their dinner tables. I'm probably the family scandal now. Donna's name is still whispered, I'm sure, tight-lipped and cold. Let them whisper. They don't get to know her anymore. Time passed. Donna started college. Art school. She's thriving. Top of her class. She calls me every night. Not because she has to, just because that's what we do. Sometimes she sends me her sketches. Sometimes she just wants to hear me say good night. When I dropped her off at her dorm, she hugged me tight for a full minute. Then she whispered, "I'm not going anywhere." She meant it literally, probably. But I understood what she was really saying. People say you can't choose your family. I did. I chose her. Over tradition. Over guilt. Over the hollow promise that blood is thicker than loyalty. And if they're still sitting around waiting for me to come crawling back, let them wait. Sometimes, late at night, I think about that moment on the porch, my mother offering me cookies like they could erase the past. Like sweetness could cover up a decade of silence and side comments and everything they didn't have the courage to face. And sure, sometimes I wonder, did I go too far? Was I too harsh? Too loud? But then I remember Donna's face when I told her. They don't get to treat you like that. I remember how she held on to me when we said goodbye at college. And I remember the one thing I swore she'd never doubt. That I would choose her. Every time. Do I think I did the right thing? I do. And if you've ever had to choose between your child and your family, I hope you did too. If this story meant something to you, leave a comment. And if you want to hear more, don't forget to subscribe.